Hey everyone, Shaedow here, and welcome to another Marvel Contest of Champions video. So we're continuing our Act 5.4 completion, and this is Act 5.4.4. And you guys can see the team that I went in with. I went in with my big guys, and I brought Blade in because he's still good even as a 4-star, and for his synergy with Stark Spider-Man. You can see the path that I chose. I chose the brute force path. That path, given my aggressive playstyle, is a pretty easy path for me. Now, I actually went on the rage path a few times, and I did not read the node properly. And I kept getting wrecked by that green goblin and wondering why. I was pretty sure I blocked, but I was still getting hit. And I thought it was a bug, but then I went and read the node, and after some consecutive hits, you get this rage and all of the attacks become unblockable. That's ugly. I'm not going to enjoy that path when I do finally take it.
Outstanding.
Alright, so that is the first challenger down. Magneto's not hard. He can be tricky sometimes, especially when you're magnetized, but I was pretty confident that I could do enough damage to get him down. Now, one of the things about this path that I had to remember, and sometimes I forgot, is that with brute force, I don't always have time to build up my poise charges, or else I'll get a debuff on me. That degen. So I can build up maybe 1 or 2, but I need to attack. I can't just sit there and, build up 10 poise charges. Alright, so here we're fighting with Angela against Spider-Man Stark Enhanced. And as you can see, I already got hit. You can see there, he blocked my special. I believe he evaded and then blocked it. He can be very annoying to fight, to be sure. But for the most part, I don't have too much trouble with him. Angela takes him down pretty easy. Alright, next up, I believe we have Thor Ragnarok. And he is also pretty easy to fight. Now, one of the things that I did notice, and you may not be aware of it, or you may be aware of it, but when he gets to 20 hits, he goes into that mode and he gets like crazy power and will go right up to his L3 until you hit him with your special. Well, if you have a special that's, say multi-part, I've noticed that it does not stop his power gain until after the last hit of your special. Let me know in the comments below if you have experienced that, but that's what I was seeing. Like if I were to do Hyperion's L2, the first part of the L2 would hit, but he would still be gaining power until I got him with the entire thing and got done with my special. Then his power gain was canceled. So just something to bear in mind if you need to time things. Alright, so now we're fighting Punisher, and I definitely like to fight him with someone who can auto-evade. So if it wasn't Spider-Man Stark Enhanced, it would be OG Daredevil. I cannot evade his L1 or his L2. I only block them. So without an evader, he really will wreck me hard. Alright? And even though, Spider-Man can auto-evade, he still sometimes takes some of those blocked hits, but at least it's not, the full damage. Now here, I actually make a mistake. That was a mistake. I should not have attacked him like that. I don't know if you guys know, but if Punisher dies to damage over time effect, poison, bleed, shock, he will not trigger his signature ability, which is that endure. So what I should have done there was to just let him die to the shock, but I didn't, and I hit him, he endured, and it just made the fight last a little bit longer than it needed to. Alright, now here I was actually thinking of using Archangel. He would have been perfect for this, and the fight would have been over much faster than it ended up being. But I went in with Blade, and this fight took a while. And I don't know if you saw that, but I started lagging. And I was like, oh boy, here we go again. But I just kept going. There were a couple of times where I got caught, and I don't know whether it was lag on the game's part, my phone's part, or whether I was just a little bit slow. But you'll see it there. But I do get hit a few times, but thankfully Blade is able to heal that damage up, which is another reason that I like to use Blade, because he will save me some healing potions. Alright, so since this fight was a little bit long, I'm going to speed up the rest of this fight. There were a couple of times in this fight you can see his health go way down, and you can see I'm slowly healing it back up. I thought I was going to lose this fight, but Blade's regen saved him. If he had not been awakened and I wasn't able to heal up, I would have lost that fight with Blade. Him being a 4-star, he doesn't have a large health pool to play around with. Alright, so next up we are fighting Civil Warrior, and he's pretty easy to fight. He can be annoying if he continually spams his L1, and those armor ups can really make the fight take a much longer time, and they also reduce, if I remember correctly, they reduce ability accuracy. So for example, if I was fighting with Spider-Man Stark Enhanced, he would have a harder time building up his poise charges. I believe that's how that works. I haven't fought against Civil Warrior enough times with like Starkey to really notice that, but as you saw, no problem for Hyperion. He took him down. Alright, so now we've got Guillotine, and you can see the boost that I was going to have to deal with, and I did go in with Blade. Now, you'll notice Blade does not have Danger Sense. That's because she's not a villain, and she's not a dimensional being. Now, if I had Mephisto or Dormammu on my team, then I would have Danger Sense, because those synergies give him Danger Sense against all Mystic champions. So he would do much better with them, but he's still not bad. Now, let me tell you, right there, I thought I was going to get wrecked, and I was already starting to get heated, especially with Guillotine, because she put some bleeds on me, and I may not be able to out-heal the bleed she would have put on me with that combo, especially if she got like 2 or 3 on me. But fortunately, she did not follow up my blocked special, and I was able to take her down. And down she went, trying to attack me. Not too hard of a fight. Nothing like she was in that uncollected mode. Whew. She was a beast there. Alright, so next up is Rocket, and I'll show you guys the boost that we have to deal with there. Of course, brute force all the way throughout this path, but he has an enhanced special 1. Very easy to evade, but if you're not careful and you're not paying attention, you can get caught by it. He has a low health pool. He is a glass cannon champion, so the fight goes very quickly. I'm using Angela, who does a lot of damage. So one of the things that I like to do here is bait out that L1. I could have pushed him to his L2, and I can evade his L2, but I figured if I messed up, I'd at least survive an L1 from him. But an L2 may not survive it. And with the way things were going in the game, I did not want to risk it. Alright, so next up is Yondu. Now Yondu is a real pain, and you may have noticed something. I don't have any bleed immune champions. Alright, so I'm like, okay, so I'm thinking I'll use Starkey, because at least Starkey can evade the arrow, at least some of the time. But I decided to heal up because I know that I'm going to get hit with that arrow, and I'm going to get a bleed on me, and that bleed is going to take a chunk of my life. So I go in here, and as you'll see here, it's coming up, yep, right there. Got the bleed on me, and it is taking a chunk of my health. But as you see here, I was able to intercept him and get him past the bar of power. So now what I need to do is just bait out his special, then push him to another special, bait that one out as well. Now see that right there, I actually tried to attack and it did not move. Alright, don't know what was going on, but it's all good.
Headshot.
Down goes Yondu. Very quick fight. That is the power of Spider-Man, Stark in hands. Alright, so next up, we're fighting Ronan. Now, Ronan, he has an L1 and an L2 that are very easy to evade, but if you get caught with them, you are going to get stunned and probably will not survive this fight. But other than the brute force that you have to deal with, the only thing that he had on him was a power gain. That just means that you need to be a little bit more patient. And since I knew that I was going to have to do that, you know, just fight a little bit slower, I started hitting him with L1 so that that damage could be, you know, ticking down on him. And I had to be conscious of the brute force to make sure that I fought aggressively, but I couldn't fight too aggressively because of the power gain.
Finish him.
But as you can see, Hyperion more than up to the task. Not a bad fight. Now we are going to fight Phoenix. She is easy to fight, but the one thing that is very annoying about her is that Rise of the Phoenix, which allows her to cheat death. Now, I don't fight against her enough to get really good at avoiding all the health that she regenerates. Alright? But a friend of mine told me that if you can bait out her L1 before she hits that Rise of the Phoenix, she'll use up her charges, and then she will not regen as much. Saw how much she regened? That's why I don't like fighting her at all. But Hyperion is a beast, and as you can see, it doesn't matter to him that he has to kill her essentially twice, because he just does so much damage. And there she goes. Nighty night. This time she stayed down. No more rising of the Phoenix. Alright, so now we come to the final part, and we only have two opponents left. MODOK, the end boss, and this is going to be Hulk. Now, if you've watched me fight Hulk before, you know that I always fight him very nervously, because for some reason, more often than not, especially when the game is acting up on me, when he gets down to low health, you know, gets his smash so that he's doing maximum damage here, something happens and I'll either get caught by his L1 or his L2, get stun locked and die, or just get one shot. But you'll notice that this Hulk does not have any nodes whatsoever. So it's just a regular Hulk fight. And as you can see, it is lights out for the Hulk. We didn't have any problem with him, at least this time. So now the only one we have left is MODOK. Now MODOK is a pain already. Now look at the nodes that you're going to have to deal with this MODOK. Alright, these are some ugly nodes. The one that is really of concern is that enhanced force field. You can only remove it by an unblockable or a heavy attack. So given the mechanics of this fight, you want to choose a champion that has heavies as part of their rotation. And that fits Archangel perfectly. This fight was made for Archangel, and I'm so fortunate to have him. The other counter that I would use would be Hyperion, because of course you use his heavies to build up his fury. So you would parry, throw your heavies, maybe hit him with an incinerate, and wash, rinse, and repeat. With Archangel, of course, as you see, all I'm doing is parrying, throwing heavies, evading his specials. And that's pretty much the fight with MODOK at any time. So I didn't actually have to change up the way that I fight against MODOK here. Now, I actually faced a MODOK on the left mini in Alliance War, and I had my Archangel, and he was at full health, and I actually died. I was so upset because I normally can one-shot MODOK, but it's all good, and as you can see, we got him down. That is Act 5.4.4 done. So if you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you did, please consider smashing that like button. It really helps me out. If you have not subscribed to the channel already, please consider giving me a subscription. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought about this video. If you want to help support the channel, look in my description and you will see a link to my Patreon account, and you can become a patron of this channel. And you guys have a blessed day.